Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Domino issue number 10. All right, whole lot of good news in this one. Let's start moving. So we got writer Gail Simone, the artists David Baldeon, Michael Shelfer, Alberto Albuquerque, and Anthony Piper. Inkers Victor Olazabra and Ed Taddeo, and along with Michael Shelfer. Carlos Lopez is the colorist. VC's Clayton Cowles on letters, and Gang Hyuk Lim did the cover. All right, so Soldier of Fortune, the conclusion. This is not the last issue in the comic book. It's the second from last, the penultimate issue. Basically, it wraps up, and and this particular issue is called Ivory Tower. This issue actually wraps up the storyline really quickly. It could have went on longer, but yeah, this was fine. It was good enough. I'm going to stick with that. I'm sick. I could say wrong things once in a while, but yeah, it was good enough. All right. They figure out that Longshot is indeed actually really sick, and they find a way to cure him. The only doctor on the orphan world where he's coming from who could fix him. They know his biology and all that good stuff. And there's a great play on the idea of the elitist medical system that things are turning into. So it's a bit of a social commentary. Anybody who has a problem with that shouldn't be reading this comic book in the first place. I don't even know what else to tell you, bud. Why do you like to torture yourself? But what do you call it? Yeah, there's this whole entire planet where all the kids are basically gladiators, and the only adults are surrounded by this king of garbage who only keeps one hospital, and obviously it's only for the elite. So yeah, that's kind of messed up. They're able to break in, and it's kind of like a play on that one Matt Damon movie. I can't remember what it's called. Somebody please remind me what it's called in the comments. I'd appreciate it. I'm sick, and I just can't freaking get my head straight around certain things. I'm not accessing my memory. The synopses aren't firing off the right way. Anyhow, what do you call it? The storyline does end, and we see a really good turn for Atlas Bears, what we're calling Shuquan now, the Wakandan outcast. So I like this turn. I like the idea that she's a good guy now, and I like the idea that she's going to be on their side and actually a part of the team, which is interesting because they could have continued fighting her. They could have turned this into a redemption story for her where she actually goes off and we don't hear from her again for a while. Then some other writer, maybe even just Gail Simone, sometime in the future, brings her back, and well, she's not quite as reformed as we thought she was going to be. No. Gail's going to hold on to this character tight. This comic book is going to end with the next issue. Now, that's the January solicit. Now, I think it was like 2 months ago, I sent a Twitter to Miss Simone. I was like, hey man, what's going on? And I didn't do a private message because I feel like those are, I'm not an insider, and I don't want to be all like presumptuous and be like, hey man, I want some private info. And I just put as well, like, hey, how come I don't see Domino on the February solicits? What the frick is going on here? Don't tell me the book is canceling. And it largely went ignored. That's fine. I understand. And I always like to think of the best of people. So I imagined maybe there's simply nothing to say right now. Or maybe, it's just we're not allowed to address it just yet. That's fine. And I think that actually was the case. Because if you guys see right about here, here's the cover for what's about to happen. That's right. Go ahead and check all that good stuff out right there. We got a new comic book going to start up called Hot Shots issue number 1. What do you call it? Featuring Domino, Outlaw, and Diamondback. Atlas Bear is going to be there also, along with White Fox and, get this, Black Widow. Are you freaking kidding me? So I'm excited to see this book at this point. I kind of would rather it just continue with Domino in and of itself, but it's also kind of pretentious for it to still be considered the Domino book because there's so many other people there. And I hardly think that Domino outshines Black Widow, but she could. But calling it Hot Shots instead, like this is the name of the new team, it does make more sense. And of course, financially, it makes more sense too because number 1s always sell better than number 12s. Just going to put that out there. it was kind of a cool selling, but like the only reason why I kind of wanted to stay as the Domino book is because let's face it, man. I mean, even Miss Simone went and made a big point about, oh, that's right, issue number 5 of Domino. It's already gone further than any other Domino series before. That's right. Now it's going to stop at 11. You know, so you only have to go a year monthly in order to bypass that. No, I wanted Domino to continue, but it's okay. It's okay. Domino will continue. It's apparently going to be the same team also. It's going to be Gail Simone and David Baldion, which is awesome. So, yeah, the comic is not canceling. Rather, it's getting a freaking upgrade. And that's not just, like, for crying out loud, I've done marketing long enough in my in my career. It's not just talk. It's a genuine article of reality. This comic book is actually getting an upgrade, not a revamp, not a remodel. It's upgrading. So that's cool. So it's going to be called Hot Shots starting in February. Nothing's changing, just adding. We're adding. I guess that's kind of a change. Anyway, I'm excited to see what happens in that. I'm excited to see this continue, but with a larger team. And honestly, having Black Widow on it is probably the best part. Just, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens there. And if it's going to tie in really well, I'm sure it will, with Black Widow's solo series, which is coming out soon. All right, that's it for me, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.